Good evening. I'm Cadet Marcelin. I am the squad leader of 1st Squad, 2nd Platoon Bravo Company. This is an information brief and is unclassified. The purpose of this brief is to inform you of our route plan we have for our next platoon ambush, as you can see here. During my brief, I'll go into great detail on each leg of our route plan and provide the advantages and disadvantages to this route, followed by distance and direction from checkpoint to checkpoint. Before jumping in, it is important to note that we'll be conducting this movement through thick vegetation, which when traveling on our primary route restricts our movement speed, field of fires, and our ability to effectively see far, but it provides us the most cover and concealment compared to our alternative route, which involves us utilizing more of the roads, which increases our movement speed, but in return we give up security. As you can see, our primary route consists of seven checkpoints, which leads us to our RP, and our expected time of travel is probably around 6 to 7 hours. And as you can see here, we are crossing several LDAs, which ranges from roads, intersections to streams. And when crossing these LDAs, we be in a platoon column, platoon wedge, traveling Overwatch, since we are expecting enemy contact on these roads, because we already got intel that they are utilizing it as their way of maneuvering. The order of movement is as followed: 1st Squad, followed by Weapons Team Alpha, followed by 2nd Squad, followed by Weapons Team Bravo, followed by 3rd Squad. To begin with, from start point to checkpoint 1, we'll be traveling for about 700 meters at 140 degrees until we come to this intersection where these two roads and stream meet. To get to checkpoint 2 from checkpoint 1, we'll be traveling at azimuth for 160 degrees for about 500 meters until we get to this beginning or end of a stream, and we'll use this hilltop to the left of us as a reference point. To get to checkpoint 3 from checkpoint 2, we'll travel an azimuth for 150 degrees for about 700 meters using traveling Overwatch, since we are crossing this road right here, and enemy forces are expected to be on this road. As mentioned before, they are maneuvering through these trails. So it is important that our platoon is ready to make contact with the enemy force. To get to checkpoint 4 from checkpoint 3, we'll travel an azimuth for 130 degrees for about 800 meters until we come to this intersection. And while traveling to checkpoint 4, we revert back to our regular formation and will no longer be traveling a platoon wedge. So we can increase our movement speed from checkpoint 3 to checkpoint 4. Once at checkpoint 4, to get to checkpoint 5, we'll revert back to a traveling Overwatch, since we have to cross this intersection and we do not want to leave a big signature behind so the enemy can see us when traveling. So from checkpoint 4 to checkpoint 5, we will travel at an azimuth 130 degrees for 800 meters. So we get to this hilltop right here, which is the highest point of elevation in this area. So it'll be easy for us to spot. To get to checkpoint 6, from checkpoint 5, we will continue to travel. We'll travel an azimuth of 155 degrees for 700 meters until we come to this hilltop right here, followed by this forest clearing. So it'd be easy for us to know when we get to the area. To get to checkpoint 7, from checkpoint 6, we will continue to travel in that same azimuth of 155 degrees while using traveling Overwatch platoon wedge, since we are in close proximity where the enemy contact is expected. And the distance from checkpoint 7 and 6 is about 500 meters. Once we get to checkpoint 7, we will just shoot and we will continue on the same azimuth we're on to our RP. We have our to our ORP. We have our ORP located on this trail right here, which can also be utilized as our casualty collecting point because it is in place where vehicles can get by to pick up casualties. And this concludes my brief.